And that's our expense there, what we owe them will be it, so.
What would be an estimate for that last paragraph, any
I don't
idea?
know. We have to talk
Title
to
search.
Rick.
Why don't you ask him what,
They wouldn't do that, that would be Rick or someone. It would be
okay.
an attorney.
Or title, I mean.
Yeah, someone could say, maybe.
Just doing the $2,400, rest of the survey, the $34.50 in mowing, $100 in trash, we're at $59.50. How much more than that should we get in? Are we gonna clean up any other properties that we are taking for taxes or?
You know, you might, it would be that one over there if you take it for taxes.
Boy, yeah, it'd be nice if we did, but I don't see it happening. I just don't.
You know, just, that's the only one I can think of, that's all I'm saying, so.
So round it off to $6,000?
Yep.
Okay.
Other property, 6,000. Is the $2,400?
Well, the 2,400
That's
this
in
year.
there.
You were gonna pay it for 2000 out of 2018 budget.
yeah,
We are.
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
That bill right there,
Yeah.
Ames,
Yeah.
okay.
We're gonna pay it up to 18.
Yes.
We originally were gonna take it out of 217.
Well,
Because we had
no, we
budget
pay it
for
this
it.
year. We pay it out of this year's.
Yeah, because we did, it was included in that line,
Right.
but we overspent it on other things, so,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
yeah. Just wanna be clear.
Yeah, putting
Yeah.
everybody on 90 days.
Yeah.
So it's for next year?
All right,
No.
Central
this year.
Fire Department electric, oh, we did that already.
11,500.
$500, Jesus.
If we're gonna pay the $2,400 this year, do you wanna reduce the 6,000 then?
No.
No? Okay.
Good grief, that's a lot of money.
And that's drastically reduced
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
from like 17,000.
16 and 17.
But it's up
11.
5. And in 2012, it was 0.
Well, that's because we didn't have a central station, so.
He left the light-
2013
he
was a
left the-
partial year.
He left the lights off.
Yeah.
Shut everything
Everybody-
down.
Give everybody a bucket.
Yeah.
All right, so 11.5.
And basically, the way I come up with those numbers is looked at last year's figures and went from there. That's it. There's no
At least you're not
extra.
using a Ouija board anymore.
Yeah.
So maintenance, do we have a list on that?
Central Fire Station maintenance?
Yeah. Oh, trash, mowing, fertilization, oil separation, pump out oil separation, alarm monitor. I thought we did alarm,
That's different.
different alarm.
Yeah.
Station.
The central station is different than
So cleaning, strip and wax all the tile floors for sprinkler and pump flow tests,
How you doing? Good.
5-year
It was good.
sprinkler inspection, vehicle exhaust removal system maintenance, furnace and AC maintenance, for a total of $17,784.
Yes. Okay. Correct. Correct.
So it seems like it's in line with previous years.
What is your bottom line there, on your right hand?
This one?
Yes, what does it say?
$17,784.
Well, an ADU, you could do that, it has to be a door between.
Okay.
And that's what he requested, right?
Yep.
and that's
Yeah.
down slightly from.
Karen, are you running the total on this, or?
What I can do is, if you want to, you can move on to your next budget item, and I'll go to my office and I'll plug these numbers in.
Perfect.
And then you can.
And then we can act on it,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Great. Yeah, 'cause
Diane, I can tell you what I came up with, and stuff
It's okay. I'll get back to you when I have my totals, yeah. How close you got?
Our next item is animal control budget. Same as the last couple of years.
Oh. We haven't reached $2,000 yet.
Right.
What is the,
I don't know how that
oh, 500 for the animal shelter? So we're increasing our donation to the,
I don't believe is a donation, that's a cost for, that's a usage fee,
okay?
I think.
Access fee.
No, it's like every time
Yeah.
a dog goes to the shelter, we pay for it.
Yeah.
And $62, I'm guessing that's one
Okay.
instance this year. Or maybe Diane has some detail on what
Yeah.
what is involved,
Right,
but
right,
the
right.
high we've ever spent is $270.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So it seems like 500, unless we have a huge raft of strays out there, we're not gonna come anywhere close to that.
250?
and our dues went up to 1,500. Yeah, that's-
Well, and again, it looks like we've been paying something that's consistently $1,200, so we had $1,500 this year, and I'm not sure, I don't have any detail on that, so I don't.
So 250, so
Do you want to put animal shelter at 250?
1,750 for a total? Sure. 250 and 1,500?
I have no problem.
That's fine.
No, when we need these people, we need them.
I'll move 4414 animal control for $1,750.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Do we need to revisit charitable giving or causes or?
Did you have that lady from the Blue Moon there, Blue Moon there, Tri-City, whatever it's called, Tri-Transit's coming next month.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
thought
talk
we were.
today.
Huh?
I can't seem to get the words out today. I know, that was a
Okay.
mumbo jumbo. The
Don't-
lady's
don't
coming in
even try.
January.
Yeah.
The lady's coming in January.
I have in my folder an item that says, at Monday's meeting, you mentioned revisiting the transfer station budget regarding the 5,000 for the snow box pusher.
Right.
Clay has since asked that we revise the number to 5,500, 5130 for the unit and 276 for shipping. So new equipment line, we would change from 1,000, that's the first line, to 6,500, correct?
All right.
Right here. First line. I think she put a copy in our yellow.
Yep.
She might have.
Right, yep. Be 6,500.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right, so that brings the grand total for 4324 to 371,122, I believe.
Is that correct, Karen?
Bear with me, let me do that real quick. $371,122.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
did animal control. We've done other highway and streets, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Next, I guess we have warrant article, or do you want me to go through this folder of things we need to talk about today?
Let's do that first.
Okay. We've done cleaning of buildings. This is the Ames Associates, total due $2,400 on the boundary
Cow Island.
survey, Cow Island.
Jack, are we ready to pay that one, or you want to wait till they put the pins in?
Well, they're probably not gonna do the pins now.
Right?
Probably not gonna do it till spring. I mean, I can call them and ask what they wanna do. I mean, it's not completed, so.
But
And we need
this is
pins.
for their services that they've completed today.
No, but that should include the plan, the full-size plan for us and putting pins, because they said a survey is done. Says right in there that the survey's not complete and the pins are done, so. And they told me it was be 2 or 3 trips. I mean, they said that was gonna be 2 trips just for the work, but they got it done in 1. But they're gonna need another ride out, it's not gonna happen.
Would it
So
be,
are we transporting them?
Yeah, we did the first time, yeah. To the neighbor's dock, but I don't believe that's in the water.
so the 2,400.
Take them on the airboat.
Include the pin?
It should be, I believe. I'm gonna call them and ask.
Okay.
So,
So do we encumber these funds?
No, we've already put it in the budget for next year. We haven't got any money to encumber.
Okay.
We spent more than we had in the line.
So we table this discussion?
I'm gonna call them and tell them when they wanna go out to put the pins in, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Diane thinks it's out of this year from the discussion. So we'll figure it out.
It's not in this year.
huh?
It's not in this year's budget.
It is in the budget.
Yeah.
It is in the budget,
We
but they
overspent
spent
the
it somewhere
budget,
else,
but
right.
that doesn't mean we can't spend it anyway, because there's still money left in the, you know,
In the
it's-
budget.
Yeah, in the overall budget. But if it's not gonna be
But they're
finished
not
this year,
done.
if it's not gonna be finished this year, then just do it next year. And I agree with Chip, if we're gonna go ahead and pay it now, we do it, we pay it now, but if we're already over in the line and we put some money in for next year, we'll just pay it next year.
Yeah, they really should have the pins in place, and Jack should see on
Yeah.
it.
Right, right.
Because that's the biggest problem.
Because it says right there, iron pin, on that little plan, if you can read it, it says iron pin to be set.
Okay, next item is Lakes Region Tourist Association.
Yeah.
Did they ask us for money?
If you look at the back side of the letter, they did.
Thank you.
Yep.
I missed that the other day.
$250.
Have we ever given them money in the past?
I
Yeah.
don't think they qualify as a charitable
Well,
organization.
it's not, it's certainly not a human services organization, but
And I don't know that we've given any money to.
I don't recall it. I certainly don't recall it when I was on the budget committee, so.
so I guess that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, if we were to entertain giving the money, what budget line does it go on? It certainly doesn't go in health agencies. And, I mean, there are other things that we give money to, and I'm not saying that we should, but
Well, the only benefit would be economic development. I mean, that's the only benefit.
Yes.
So I guess we'd have to, if we can advertise it,
yeah.
How long ago was that?
or Lakes Region Planning Commission, where do we put those people?
LRPC is under planning, okay? And, you know, we do pay memberships and contributions to a variety of different outside groups in the area where they provide the service. For instance, New Hampshire Lakes, that's, goes under other conservation,
Yeah, but it might be.
for what we do there, so.
And we haven't had any local businesses come forward
We'll have to find out.
asking for help in marketing, which is, I think all these people do.
Yeah, you know
Yep,
where it
it
is.
is.
And
So
we don't have a budget for economic development.
Yep.
Right, and we're not the home rule state, so we can't really create anything like that.
447-1449. Yep. Right.
So,
So,
I,
yeah.
No, I
I'm not in favor of-
the number I had, and that's.
giving them any money this year.
So no action taken.
Yeah. So,
447-144.
Send them packing.
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and
Do we want to go to warrant articles, or do we want to do the signed documents
let's
first?
do the signatures first.
Now, there's one more thing in here, but it's for warrant articles, and that is Shirley Way. This is for Friday. To sign a letter thanking Tyler Brewster and Chris Brewster. Okay, the next item in here is from the Wolfboro Snowmobile Club. It's an annual thing of us giving them permission to go across our property when they unload at the parking lot and then go out to the lake. There's a trail they maintain. There's no cost to us. Do I sign this, gentlemen?
Yep, I'll move approval.
Okay. Do we do it for 1 year, 5 years, or indefinite?
I think you do it 1 year.
Yeah. you have to-
And the reason is that then it becomes the annual check on if there are issues that come up. It's not, that there's some
We do
way
have
of addressing it.
an annual election, so
Yep.
there's
Change.
board membership.
Right. All those, move the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. This is the notice of public hearing for the cemetery on the abandonment procedure. It will be in the January 4th, 2018. Hearing is 3/19/18. Is there a motion to sign?
In our last discussion with Sue Weeks, there was some talk about adjusting the wording in this notice at the end, if we could, to make it.
She did do that.
Hmm?
She did do that.
Okay. So. Okay, and in that wording, it is consistent with the law?
Still about in.
That is not something I checked on. I trusted for the trustees to.
Well, but it's our notice.
That's true.
So I'm comfortable signing it with the proviso that you
I don't
double
do
check
that.
before it goes in the paper, that that wording meets the requirement of law, because sometimes the law has some very arcane things in it, and if you say, well, this will make more sense, this will sound better, people will understand it better, it's not in concert with the statute, and, you know, we're not doing it right. And I don't want to do that, so I will move approval.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Okay, let me speak to that. This is a contract for herbicide treatment for 2018. 18. There are two pieces. One is for the milfoil treatment, which we are targeting doing early in the season so that the residual effect of the treatment has dissipated before the end of June, which helps the people that use those areas for swimming in the summertime. The other piece, which is the Phragmites piece, we don't know if we're going to need to do, and we can make that decision later in the spring and launch it for an application in the fall. So what I am recommending is that we just sign the contract for the milfoil piece, which is the top signature piece there, and we'll send it back to them. That way we'll, I think the permitting notice has to go out 90 days in advance. They have some advance work to do, so it's important that we get them started in the process first of the year, so that by the time May rolls around, everything is in order. The permits approved by the state DES, not this one. This is Phragmites. Leave that one alone. Just sign that one, and we can execute the contract for Phragmites later in the year if we need to.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is the motion clear?
Yes, thank you. Just the milfoil piece, Phragmites will be
Yes.
visited later. Yep.
Right.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Today's the 15th.
Yep.
It is.
Okay. And this paperwork here for you guys to read.
Oh, yeah.
It's 11:30. Do we start on warrant articles?
Sure.
Sure. Fine.
Who wants to begin?
So we've already talked about Article 1, purchasing the new vehicle for the code officer, $35,000.
Can I make a suggestion
Sure.
on that? I noticed when I read the CIP, we're $22,000 over on capital capacity. And the last time we went with a code vehicle, we bought it over 5 years. That would put the capital capacity back right on target if we went with the lease purchase. So from a mathematical point of view, I thought I'd toss it up. I think it would be less than $300 in interest, but please don't quote me on that. What is the board's thoughts?
I think for a $35,000 vehicle that the appropriate approach is to purchase it outright. We do that every time we buy a police vehicle, and it's about $55,000. I mean, I just, it just seems to me that to stretch it out over several years, even though the interest cost isn't huge, what we're doing is we're taking and, it's sort of a reverse savings.
And actually, you're accomplishing the same thing. We've eliminated Article 2, 13,000. If the library passes, you've eliminated 30,000 in the septic system. So now
Right.
you're, $43,000 has been eliminated. If the library doesn't pass, you've eliminated 500,000, or whatever the first payment is
Sure.
they've listed. So I'm in agreement with Bill. It's a.
And the other thing is, I think that the adjusted front entrance price is after, I know it was considered at 30,000 in CIP, and
The 22?
yeah.
Article 3?
Yep, I didn't, quite honestly, I didn't look at the final report to see if it was adjusted down before that, but I know they were working with 30 before, so I think it's appropriate with a $35,000 vehicle. We
Okay.
purchased it outright.
Yep.
Is there a motion for Article 1?
I will move that we include an article to raise and appropriate $35,000 to purchase a new vehicle for the code enforcement officer.
Second? I'll second it.
Oh,
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes 3-0.
okay. And I guess what I'd say is that while we're considering these in the order that they're in here, on the list coming
I
from
wanted to check the total.
CIP, the actual order we put them in on the warrant may be different.
TBA.
Right. So this is the first recommendation, it's not necessarily the first article.
The second alleged article is, we don't need to have a conversation, correct?
Yeah, that's included in the operating budget.
The article to appropriate $22,000 to replace the main entrance doors in the town office building.
Is that a good number?
No, you can put that to 20.
20. Okay. And exactly what does that include?
That includes aluminum front entrance on this side, double doors like it is now, aluminum slide flankers, the back side, as well as an electric operator for ADA accessibility with 2 buttons, one on the inside, one on the outside.
Okay.
And that will include wiring power to the unit from a private electrician that we will hire, and a little bit of extra money for some touch-ups.
Okay, so it's basically both sides of the
Both sides of the
vestibule.
entrance vestibule, yeah, aluminum with grills between the glass.
Okay. How about the doors between the
That's
lobby?
nothing to do with these right now, and
Okay.
those aren't too bad. They
Okay.
don't get the weather.
That can be a future project.
Correct.
Yep. All right, so 20,000.
Yeah.
All right, I will move.
It's my, I have a question. It's my understanding that's radiant heat,
It is ready heat up there,
and this will be heat efficient.
yeah. It'll help that. This will be thermal paint as opposed to what's there now, which is simple glazing with storm panels.
Go ahead, sir.
I move that we include an article to raise and appropriate $20,000 to replace the main entrance doors in the town office building.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is the article to raise and appropriate $580,000 to purchase new fire apparatus to replace engine 2 under a 5-year lease purchase agreement. Chief?
Every 20 years, a truck comes up for replacement as far as in our CIP budgeted. Currently, this year, we're looking at obviously replacing engine 2 for 2018. Engine 2, we've been monitoring that each year for issue with the frame. It has a double frame in the back that's expanding and rusting. So we've done everything that we can to keep it from expanding more or causing problems. At some point in time, it's going to not pass inspection for that. Right now it is. As the truck gets older, obviously it costs more to maintenance. There's figures out there that they say that you should look out for as far as maintenance wise, and after that, replacement. Probably 8 years ago or a little bit longer, now, halfway through its life, we had it the back half repainted, to keep up with rust and stuff like that on the body and that's held up pretty well for that side. The truck has done well for its 20 years. Its replacement truck that we'd be looking at would be a 2,000 gallon truck with a 1,750 gallon per minute pump. And it will hold basically the same amount of people. This current truck that we have now is an international chassis. What we have been purchasing is what they call a custom chassis, where the tires, it's a cab over, basically. So you have a better turn radius and things like that. Versus the truck that we currently have, you don't have the turning it turns much less in different areas. So you can get a little bit bigger truck, still have better turning radius than the 20-year-old truck that we currently have. I know that it's been asked in the past if we can put it off for a year. I would, obviously, I'm going to recommend that you don't, as far as it goes, to stay in the capital improvement scheduling. If we put it off this year, what's my guarantee for next year that we would be able to go for it? I know that we put the boat off in the past for a period of time, and then 7 years after that, I was asked to put it off further until we got to the point that the boat almost broke in half, and we had to do it, type of thing, because it was waterlogged. I don't want to get into that type of situation. We went from 4 Class A pumpers down to 3. If we lose one of the trucks, then we're going to lose, a lot of our capabilities as far as it goes. And we have had periods of time that, obviously they break down. If we lose engine 4, we lose half of our water capabilities and things like that, because it's a 2,500 gallon tanker versus the other trucks that carry 1,000 gallons. This truck would give us a little bit more water capacity, help us with our ratings and things, but it's not anything, out of the ordinary of what we normally go for. As far as
Part of the
apparatus.
reason why, and I'm probably the guilty party for asking if we could put it off, is I look at the capital capacity report, and we're over our capital capacity for
Yeah.
this year and next year, and then we're under. And so I was trying to flatten that curve if we possibly could. The other part of this that I don't fully understand is if your truck is approved, the warrant article is approved in March, you're not really expecting delivery until
It's a year.
a year later.
Right.
So you've got another year of use for this truck that you want to get rid of. And how much of the money for this lease purchase are we paying in the first year while we don't have the truck? I mean, what's that
So,
arrangement?
as far as lease purchase wise, from what I've seen, if you pay the first payment in advance,
Yeah.
there's arrears and then there's the payment. You save like $19,000 in cost as far as on the payment. As far as in the overall truck itself, you save like $19,000.
We're only talking $500,000. The current interest rates, $19,000 is probably all of the interest
Yeah.
on a